Hello, everyone. Welcome to 360 Degrees Excellence, where we believe everyone can have all-round success. Today, I'm going to be having a conversation with Professor Olusegun Obadina and Dr. Yemi Jeff-Agboola. And we're going to be talking about food safety in Africa with special focus on Nigeria. We're also going to be talking about other issues. These people that are with me today are people that have been able to make impact in their career. And there's a lot of things they can share with, especially young academics. So without much ado, let's just get started. So the first question I'm going to be asking from Professor Obadina. Prof, can you just tell us about yourself?
Good morning, our viewers, and afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are at this particular moment. My name is Adewale Olusegun Obadina. I'm a professor of food safety and biotechnology in the Department of Food Science and Technology, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, here in Nigeria. I've been involved in teaching and research for the past 18 years. And my major area of research is food safety, quality, and biotechnology. I've been involved as facilitator in different short courses and workshops on food safety, both within and outside Nigeria. I've also been opportune to play an integral role in various collaborative projects sponsored by international donors, such as DFID, EU, World Bank, Africa-Brazil Innovative Marketplace, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and World Academy of Science. Presently, I'm a member of Board of Directors and Governors, International Union of Food Science and Technology, that is IWFOST. Also, a member of Board of Directors, African Continental Association of Food Protection. And presently, I'm a member of the Advisory Council, Human Health Organization, HHO, which is a UN organization. Also a member of Food Safety Enhancement of Edible Products, Legislation, Analysis and Management, CELAMAT, and a member of the Nigeria National Antimicrobial Resistance Working Group, and a member of the ECOWAS Regional Antimicrobial Resistance Working Group. I think that is enough. Thank you.
That is, wow, your CV says a lot. Fantastic. That's great. And Doc, Yemi, can you just tell us about yourself?
Thank you very much. Dr. Yemi Jeff-Agboola, an associate professor from the Department of Biological Sciences, University of Medical Science, Ondo, and my area of specialization is food microbiology, food safety, microtoxicology. I'm also into gender responsive agricultural research. I'm also the president and founder of our Voice of Women in the Development of Agriculture. In 2019-20, I was a Fulbright visiting scholar, and I have attended several postdoctoral fellowship programs in different continents, and including University of Missouri, Columbia, University of Ghent University, and also Auburn University happened to be the last one. And I have been a member of several professional bodies, and currently I'm the chair of International Society for Microbiological Conference. international chair, and many professional organizations and a lot of grants. I've been able to win a lot of grants for my professional career development. And I remember during the Fulbright program, I was able to win several grants about different. I was able to attend, provide community development program for the community of different states in America and talk to them about African food safety program, and also train them about innovative and creative art, like the use of African crafts making and stuff like that. And I have been involved in several projects and several collaborative projects. I'm also currently an ambassador for World Food Prize there, World Food Prize, and many more. Just let me just cut it short. Yeah,
that's great.
Again, I'm the president of Microtoxicology Society of Nigeria. Thank you.
Perfect. And you're also a pastor.
Yeah. So
very
I think
fantastic.
Obadina too is a pastor.
Yeah, that's great. Fantastic. I'm so happy to host the two of you today. I'm so happy to host the two of you. So the first question I want to ask, apart from the introductory questions, I want to ask from Prof. Can you tell us the challenges that we have, food safety challenges that we have in Nigeria, and can you also begin to provide solutions from your experience, from what you've been able to do? Because I know you are involved with a lot of activities. You have that knowledge, and so can you just tell us? I know there's a lot.
Okay. I don't really know where to start, really. When we talk about food safety challenges in Nigeria, I want our audience to know that the issue of food safety challenges is not only limited to Nigeria, nor to Africa, nor to developing countries. It is a global challenge. It is a global challenge, and that is why every country now is looking towards how to identify their food safety challenges and what is the way forward to overcome the challenges. Well, for Nigeria, the challenges is the food safety challenges is in Nigeria is not also specific. Of course, many of the challenges that we face here in Nigeria in the area of food safety is also many of what happens in West African coasts. But before we start talking about the challenges of food safety, maybe we just need to first try to let us know from the angle of how we'll be looking at these challenges by saying that food safety means food that are manufactured, imported, exported, distributed, sold, or advertised and used in Nigeria, which are supposed to be free from hazards. And these hazards can be microbiological, chemical, and physical. So from this point of what food safety is, I'm going to list so many, maybe because of my expertise as a food safety person. So I'm going to give us a list of so many food safety challenges that we have in Nigeria presently. Number one, there is increasing poor practices in food safety in Nigeria. And this tendency of experiencing, there's a tendency of experiencing severe health outcomes and recording massive death rates if this contaminated food are consumed. This is an evidence in what is happening presently in the country, through which many of our exported foods into the international market are being rejected. We have cases of many of our crops exported out of Nigeria to EU and are being rejected. Example of beans, our groundnuts, maize, to mention a few of them, even though melon is also among. Why are we having this reject? Why are we having these challenges of food safety? One, some of the issues has to be due to poor food safety practices, which is employed in the food supply chain, including one, artificial ripening of fruits using unapproved agents such as carbide, which, if used, could have negative effect on health when such fruits are consumed. Because of the need to get money or more profit on time, many of these farmers do not allow their crops or fruits to ripe at the normal time on the farm. They cultivate or they harvest them and now use these chemicals that are dangerous to human health in fastening the ripening of such fruits. Another very pathetic reason for this food safety challenge is the use of unapproved insecticide, such as snipers, for preservation of grains. Of course, these are done by unauthorized persons. And snipers is a chemical that is toxic, but because of the toxicity that prevents the growth of insects, they use this chemical to preserve some of our grains. And this affects the safety level of these grains after being used for preservation. Another one I can mention is the use of containers contaminated with hazardous chemicals, such as fertilizers, bags of grains or chemicals drums, and jerry cans for food storage. These containers that has been used for such chemicals, the farmers, the processors, take them without doing the normal thing. Normally, such containers are not to be used for storage or handling of food products. But we see cases where these farmers or processors or marketmen and women, due to ignorance, maybe I should put that also, use these containers to store food, and which normally leads to food safety problem. Other practices include unauthorized use of chemicals. We have mentioned the one that is used for storage. We also have some of them that are also used possibly also to prevent insects in the food, which are also detrimental to human health. There is this major concern now that most people are not looking towards, and that is the concern with the transportation of food using used trucks that has been previously used for transporting chemicals, agrochemicals, and other hazardous materials for transporting food commodities. For example, people use tankers that has been used to transport petroleum, to transport our vegetable oil, water, or other food products, such as vegetables. These are also an issue that need to be looked into. Because of the level of people in this part of the world, we have many of our food items sold in open markets. And this is where majority of the populace, almost 75%, go to purchase our food. The way the food are handled, the way they are being treated, the exposure, the storage, and the open market make them more susceptible to contamination, both microbiological, chemical, and physical. This is another challenge too. Well, when we now look at the industrial scale level, we notice that there are a lot of equipment, food pressing machines or equipment that are made using non-steel materials. And as a result of this, it leads to contamination of food with metals such as lead and other metals. There are so many, but let me stop here because of time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. When I was growing up in Nigeria, people used to talk about typhoid fever. In those days, if you wanted to go and eat in, a restaurant, they used to call it buka. You be careful about typhoid fever. I just want to ask from Dr. Yemi, is that still a problem in Nigeria? Typhoid fever, salmonella infection?
Thank you very much. Yeah. Before I answer that question, I want you to know, just for me to also add a little thing about the challenges. Like this issue of salmonella infection and typhoid fever problem is also a global concern. One of the challenges we have is the inability to test the food that is being sold to the people. There is no regulatory body. We have some regulatory bodies that are involved in testing of foods and drugs and stuff like that. But do we really have regulatory bodies that are involved in going to these so-called buka to test what they are doing, to check the kind of water they are using for processing of their food, and also to test all the food handlers? I doubt if we do something like that. So the issue of salmonella infection, it's a serious problem, and it will continue to be, because if we leave this food safety aspect for some group of people, like what Professor Obadina said, he said is a global concern. Yes, it is a global concern, but let's look at the percentage of people that are involved in processing of foods. In Nigeria and in Africa, I guess it's the same in Africa. The percentage of people, the gender group that are involved in processing of food, like when we look at women has the highest percentage. About 60%, women contribute about 60% of their production process. They contribute their efforts, their energy in production of food, preservation of food, and so many like that. Like this issue of salmonella contamination in Nigeria and in Africa and all over the world. Who are the people, who are the gender groups that process food? Majority of them are women. They process food. Do they have training about food safety? Do they have, then the scientists are now again looking at bridging the gap between the scientists and the food processor, or scientists and farmers. There is a big gap. The scientists are aware about, majority of the scientists are aware about this food safety risk. How do we pass our information down to these people? How do we partner with them? If these people are not aware about salmonella contamination, they're not aware about mycotoxin contamination, they will continue to do what they do to make gain. And that is the norms in all over. Because a lot of food processors, a lot of manufacturers, they want to make gain. And so in order for them to make gain, they go into different kind of practices, like Professor Obadina said something about the use of carbide in ripening of fruit. You don't really know which is which again. You want to buy fresh fruit. Because, for example, yesterday when I was coming on the road, I saw banana. I saw the dark banana and the green one. The green one happens to be like the one that has been ripened with carbide. Why the green? That's the fresh yellow one. Why the green one that did not look attractive to me, because I wouldn't want to eat something that is not okay, palatable, are the ones that are not used, that they didn't use carbide for. And, I had to go for the one that is sweet. Because I didn't really know which is which, but I had to buy something. It has a negative implication on people's health. These people want to make money. Poverty is another problem that makes people to process foods in an unhygienic condition. They feel like working on people's mind. They feel like once you are poor and you don't need to take care of your environment. And so you just need to live the way you see things working for you. And so they just, this issue of Samlena will always be a problem. If we concentrate, if we allow only food safety aspect to just be for just a particular gender group, because if it is only women that is involved in food safety, we continue to have problems. Yes, you know that women process food, they cook, they fetch water, they do a lot of things. And if our men, we have to join us to raise their voice and join the women and in this improvement of food safety in Nigeria. I guess this salmonella infection, so many infections, mycotoxin contamination, and will be reduced. And our farmers will be smiling whenever they want to export their products.
Thank you. I also want to say that salmonella infection is not limited to Africa or to Nigeria. Just recently, 100 people have been healed in the US because they consume onions contaminated with salmonella, and the onion came from, I think, Mexico. So it's a global problem. It's a global problem. Now, we've talked about the problems. Prof, I want to go back to you again. Can you profess some solutions? What can we do to solve these problems?
Yeah, interesting. Thank you, Prof. I think when we're talking about solution, it's better we get it right. What are the challenges that we want to suggest or provide solution to? So I will try to list again, taking some of the points that were mentioned by Dr. Jeff and add some. So from there, I will be able to at least say a few things on way forward. Number one, lack of awareness of impact of food safety on the socio-economic and environment is key. Number two, lack of data and information on the incidence of foodborne diseases outbreaks is another problem. And thirdly, lack of understanding of food safety. These are three major, areas that I would put all these challenges. So let me try to explain what I mean by these three different areas. Number one, awareness of impact of food safety on the socio-economic environment. The processors, the farmers, the consumers, the stakeholders in totality are not aware of the impact of these food safety that we're talking about. If they are aware, I'm very sure that nobody will want to eat a particular food that will lead him or her to the hospital to be there for the next 1 week or 5 days.
Yeah.
Nobody will want to, that after it's spent money, will not be able to be active the way he was or she was before. Number two, most of the time in Africa, we put the blame on our governments. We usually say that they don't fund, they are not interested in food safety issues. But the question is this: if you engage the policymakers, they tell you that the research that you scientists do, that we don't understand. They believe in data. They want to know, why do they need to aggregate money, fund for a particular reason? They need policy. And for them to spend money on this policy or allocate budget, they need data to convince them. Where is the data? In Nigeria, as we are talking, you can't go to any, okay, don't let me generalize because I'm not 100% sure, but I know that 70% of the hospitals, of the clinics that we have in Nigeria do not have data. Even just say a month data. This is October. The quest for the data of the people that have come to their hospital for the past 25 days that are suffering from foodborne illnesses or diseases, it cannot be provided. And if that cannot be provided, for example, in my university, how do I want to convince my vice chancellor or the management team that they need to do something to improve or to inform people about the issue of food safety within the university? Data is lacking. That's number two. The last one that I said, lack of understanding of food safety. Everybody, people do things the way they like. They don't know. We are talking about food safety. Why should I not eat food that they sell at the bucatteria? Why should I not go out there and buy bread that is exposed to the environment? Why should I not buy granules that somebody is using his or her hand to remove the peel and also blow with his mouth where saliva will enter? The person that you do not know, maybe she or he is suffering from a particular foodborne diseases. So these are issues. People are not aware of this. So with this, I can say that number one, food safety issue or solution comes from what we have as a theme of this year World Food Safety Day, that says food safety, everyone's business.
Responsibility, yeah.
It is everybody, all the stakeholders that are responsible for having these challenges solved. The government has its own part. I've mentioned that the government needs to fund research. They need to do a lot of programs that people will know more about food safety advocacy. The government can assist in that. Producers, they also have their own share out of this blame that we're talking about. Are they ready to produce good food? Food that is safe. Is that their target? Good. If the government also provide policies and also they are there as police to monitor what they produce, we have regulatory officers. Are they doing their job? The processors, producers, processors, we have all these small, medium, and enterprises. We have smallholder processors. Are they aware of what they need to do? If they are aware, are they doing it in the right way? If they are not doing it the right way, who is that person? Checkmating them. Maybe they are doing it rightly. Suppliers, retailers, consumers, all the stakeholders, everybody need to do their own little bit to make this thing very okay. Secondly, investment in research. Investment in research. We need data. Who are the people that provide the data? Researchers, scientists like us. What? Some of us have been fortunate and opportune by the grace that we receive from God. We have been getting funds to do some of these things that we believe should be done. But the thing is that how it should be? I want to work on food safety issue in Nigeria. I'm getting funds from European Union. It's wrong. We have government in Nigeria that are supposed to fund research. They are not doing it. They are not doing it. You don't sow from where you don't reap. You don't expect me to get funds from EU or from America, USAID, and do research and make the output of my research available for you or write policy for you from, no, it's not. So the government really need to look inward and do the right thing. There's need for more training and education, more training in the area of food safety. We are trying. I know people like Dr. Job, she has an NGO that they are doing all this. Some of us are doing this, but it needs to go more than that. Let me tell you, in Nigeria, there's no school offering food safety at undergraduates. How do you want to spread the education? No. At postgraduate level, the school that is championing food safety at postgraduate level in Nigeria is in FUTA. They have a World Bank Center of Excellence in food safety and food mycotoxin and food safety, which they offer MSc and PhD. We need more. We need people to be trained, personnel that can come out and say, yes, I'm a food safety graduate. I can go out. I know what it takes. I can work in the industry. I can work with the government agencies. I can work as a lecturer. I may decide to say, no, I want to go out to come up with an NGO to see how people out there can be aware of these challenges we are talking about. Do you have qualified personnel to do all this? We don't have. So these are real issues. Let me stop here for more.
Thank you so much, Prof. You've really tackled it very well. You've told us what we need to do, but it's tough. And everyone has to do his or her bit. Like you mentioned, the themes of this year, World Food Safety Day. Food safety is everybody's responsibility. It's everybody's job to do. Everybody from every stakeholder from farm to fork must know that they've got to ensure that the food that we are eating is safe. You know, there is no food security without food safety. Food safety is the foundation of food security. It's very, very important. And Doc, I want to ask you this question. I know that you are the current president of, I think, is it Mycotoxicology Society of Nigeria. And I'm sure you are also doing something about food safety. Can you tell us about that society, the mission of that society, and what do you intend to achieve during your tenure as the president?
Thank you very much. The mission of the society is to look into food safety issues, most especially that has to do with mycotoxin contamination of foods, and look at harmonize all the challenges together and look at way forward of converting the challenges to opportunities and be able to assist and create awareness about mycotoxin contamination in Nigeria. And they have really worked extensively on creating awareness about mycotoxin contamination of foods. But I still believe that it's still low, and I will tell you why. It's because, number one, the Nigerian population is over 200 million. And so in creating awareness about a particular thing, mycotoxin, it goes beyond just a group of people. And we have Mycotoxicology Society of Nigeria. We have NAFDAC as part of the regulatory bodies. They are members of the society. We have a Standard Organization of Nigeria. We have partnered with ECOWAS. We have partnership with so many stakeholders. But we really need to take it beyond just having conferences and presentation of papers to going down to meet with farmers. Though we have been doing that before. They have been meeting with farmers, and because majority of our farmers, most especially the cocoa farmers, they have rejections of their cocoa products. And the only thing we can do, cocoa beans, we don't produce cocoa. We don't have any products from cocoa beans, but we have the bean. They have to export it out. We are also one of the largest producer of cocoa. And also we have, as mentioned by Professor Obadina, we have rejections of our beans. We have very good and high quality beans, but when they want to export all this, there are rejections. And so what we intend doing is to embark on, like today now, I'll be having a meeting with the director of the Central Lab, NAFDAC. We're going to talk about how to sensitize people more about this mycotoxin contamination of foods in Africa, in Nigeria. We should start from Nigeria first. We have researchers, we have been able to have different members of the ESCOs that are into research group, and we've been able to zone that. We have the Southwest Research Group, we have the North, the East, and all that. They have their own research group, and we are with this zoning of different research groups. We are also going to continue with our awareness program, and also we are going to partner with some stakeholders like NAFDAC and some other stakeholders that have equipment. Now, in the last World Food, during the World Food events, we organized a program that the Voice of Women in the Development of Agriculture organized a program in collaboration with IT. And then we talk, we've been talking about challenges. Vicky White, that is in charge of agriculture in Bill Gates Foundation, told us something. Said we should stop focusing on our challenges. We should focus on our strengths, on our opportunities. And we look at it, we have so many opportunities. Number one, the opportunity is, one of the opportunities that we're going to look at is like, we are going to consider people that have custodians of traditional knowledge in production of food. Who are these gender groups that are custodians of traditional knowledge in food production? These people, when they process food, at what temperature do they process food? We know that mycotoxin cannot be reduced by different processing methods except by chemical preservatives. But we cannot be using chemicals in our food. We need to sensitize people about the use of chemical to preserve their foods. We have so many medicinal plants, we have so many natural things that can assist in preserving all this. So we need to engage those people that have traditional knowledge about, indigenous knowledge about food processing and food preservation, using our natural things. The majority of them are women anyway. So we're going to involve them in the campaign against mycotoxin contamination. Most especially aflatoxin has been an issue. And then we have a partnership for aflatoxin control in Africa. So we are also going to engage them in so many programs that we'll be doing. It's very, very important for us because we want to have a healthy nation. So if you really want to have a healthy nation, then what are the steps, what are the things we're going to do to have a healthy nation? We need to really involve some stakeholders. Now, it's very important for us to have institutional part of what we already started drafting our strategic plan. It's important for us to have institutional, industrial, farmers partnership. If including the governments, because we want the governments to know that you are part of everybody. For the mere fact that you are leading up today does not mean that you don't have us as your family. If anything should happen to us, it will happen to you. So it is the collective responsibility of every one of us. We need to take this message first to start with the governments. So by the time we talk to the governments, we're going to draft policy brief, and from policy brief, we'll give to whoever, those that can help us to submit to the policy makers. And so with this, there should be what our organization is going to do and continue to do is to first of all start our campaign with the government. We'll go from the government, we go to the rural leaders, the obas, the kings, so that the core community will have community engagements, because we really need to let people know, let them know about mycotoxin contamination. Like in the past, and it's still the same norms. When you look at the way people dry the food we eat, some people will dry these things on the floor. Those are the things we want to look at. We want to sensitize people. For example, Aspergillus flavus is so abundant on the ground. And so this same place, this same ground is still the same place that will dry the food we eat. And so we really need to partner with farmers, with people that are preserving our food, with people that are processing our food, and let them know the health implication of eating these things after a prolonged period of time. You just discover that some people eat kuli and they die. Some people eat gari and they die. You know that gari, it's fermented cassava flakes. When you see discoloration in gari, they will just scrape the head of that gari instead of them to take the whole of the bag and burn. They scrape it and heat the rest, forgetting the fact that molds that produce these toxins, once they are present, they produce propagules that goes down. Even the color you are seeing on top that you removed, majority of the part of the mold that have been able to secrete metabolites into the food, you just scraped only what you see. It's possible for you not to see any mold growing on any grains on anything, and yet the mycotoxin is there. So we really need a lot of work in these regards. And capacity building is another thing that we're going to even look at. Because number one, I have gone to so many countries to work with state-of-the-art equipment. When I come back to my home, Nigeria, do we really have access to this state-of-the-art equipment? So when we build capacity, and then all of us coming together, Professor Obadina said something, governments are not funding research. It is high time for research ideas of stakeholders coming together, be funded. Like we have TED Fund. If we send proposals to TED Fund, we then listen to us. If you say, okay, we are partnering with NAFDAC, we're partnering with farmers, we're partnering with universities, we're partnering with people that can provide solution to all this. We want government to listen to us. And so we really need to go to those people that can listen to us and sensitize them first. After sensitizing them, we come back to the community, to the grassroots, and let people be aware. They are rejecting our cocoa. Our farmers are not making money anymore. Exportation is becoming another thing in Nigeria. We can't fold our hands. We really need to go out there and talk to them, sensitize them. If you keep on fermenting cocoa the way we're fermenting it, it is during that fermentation period that this all these molds grows on all these things and produce mycotoxin. And by the time they want to export, they will reject them. So we need to rigorous work. This is a lot of work, but we can't do it alone. We can always do it with the help of the government, the help of institutions, the help of industries, even financial institutions, not just academic institution, because this financial institution, we have to look for a way of providing money for farmers and all that to be able to get access to good quality grains and many things. There are so many challenges when it comes to this food safety issue, but we have been told to look forward and look at solution. So whenever we want to look at solution, we will talk about the challenges, but we'll not spend more time on the challenges, but we have to look for the solution. Those are just the solution from Mycotoxin Society of Nigerians point. We are developing our strategic plan for the next 2 years. And so when it comes out, we are going to also publish it. Thank you.
Fantastic. You mentioned collaboration is very, very important for us to collaborate. We can't do it all alone. We need to collaborate. And some of us we have some of these organizations that we can reach out to, Professor Obadina. You know all these organizations that we can reach out to assist, to support us. It's very, very important. And now in South Africa, recently, there has been recall of apple juice because of mycotoxin, patulin. So it's a problem everywhere. You will not expect mycotoxin to be in apple juice. So that's it. So we need to really, synthesize the public about all these things, food safety hazards, and it's very, very important. Now, let's not talk about other issue. We've been talking about food safety, we've been talking about mycotoxin, all the stuff, bacteria, everything, chemical hazards. But now I want to talk about other issues. I'm going to start with Prof, I know you from your CV, and for what I know about you, we are also both members of Silamat. You you've really made an impact in food safety and biotechnology in Nigeria. You won a lot of awards. You have published a lot of articles. You really worked hard. You worked hard, and you deserve it. You recently became a professor, and it was backdated, I think, 2 years back. You deserve it. Now, for academics, young academics starting in Nigeria, looking at you and looking at your experience, what advice do you have for them?
Well, number one, let me say that anything that any human being has achieved in this world is not by his power, not by his might, not that it's good, but it's all by the grace of the Almighty God. And whatsoever level that we are today is because God has given us that little opportunity. And I want to give everything to God. So from there, I would say that any young academic, either as a student that have it at the back of his or her mind that I want to become an academic in future, or as a young academic that has already chosen that profession, the first thing is for that person to believe that without God, it's going to be very difficult for him or her to make it in life. That is number one. Number two, after getting that right, he or she need to set high personal and academic standard for him or herself. Because you can only get to a place that you desire to get to. If I have in mind now that I want to travel to Ibadan, I will not start going to Lagos because I know I want to go to Ibadan. All my thinking, all my planning will be towards how do I get to Ibadan? What are the challenges along the way that I need to overcome before getting to Ibadan? So for such a person, there's need to set a very high personal and academic standard. And having that, you now need to know that there's need for him or her to strive. I use that word strive to understand how do I need to get to that place? How do I need to get those standards that I've set for myself? Number three, if the person is a student, maybe young graduate student that is still in the university, such a person needs to know or remember that grades counts. You need to work very hard to get good grades. Without that, it's going to be very difficult for such a person to meet up in life. There's also need to include little social into his or her life. There's need for such a person to know a wide range of people. Faculty members, staff, and students in your department, in your college, you need to know people because we cannot live in isolation. We need ourselves. The three of us, one way or the other, we've met, we know ourselves, we know where we can help ourselves, and this has happened before now. So it's very important. Such a person should also know that he should not pull off until tomorrow what he or she can do today. Don't procrastinate. Because you get to know that if you say, okay, I'm going to do this thing tomorrow, by tomorrow, other things are coming in that are so urgent and important that you need to also do. So what you can do today, don't ever, okay, push it to tomorrow. That person also to know that he or she should be able to cope with failure and learn from mistakes because challenges will come his or her ways and he must be ready Whenever that comes, you should not go back or run away. Hey, so this is how it looks like. No, I don't. No. It's part of way to success. You should know how to cope with failures and also learn from mistakes. That person needs to love him or herself. Love yourself. Love yourself. No matter whom you are, love yourself. If people are saying bad about you, love yourself. And that person needs to be a good person. I always tell people about Professor Tosin. Of course, it's not because I'm saying your face. I always talk about Dr. Jeff, how nice and good you guys are. We need to keep on with that. We should be a good person. And we should also have passion. Passion. It is the passion that we have for food safety that has taken us to this level. It's not that it was easy, and it will not continue to be easy, but that passion will continue to move us forward. That no, our people deserve the best. We cannot just close our eyes. We want to do it. We want to assist. Passion is very good. That person needs to be a good listener. A good listener. To be a good listener is not always easy, but one needs to pray for the grace. So you don't talk too much.
Oh.
Hello, Prof.
It's like we lost you.
Is that we lost you there? Okay, Prof. Okay, Prof has said a lot of things about what we need to do, and they are all very, very, very true. Those are things we need to do. And another thing that Prof has not talked about is people must just apply. You must apply for grants. You must apply for a lot of opportunities. Doc, I just want to ask you this. You won this prestigious fellowship, Fulbright. A lot of people want to win it, and I'm sure maybe some people are watching at this interview, and they're asking if you could do it. I too can do it. What advice do you have for them?
Thank you very much. Fulbright is the most prestigious award in the whole world. First of all, I want to, Professor Obadina said it, that anything you achieve in life has been by God. It has been God. Because when I won it, I look at myself, I said, God, it could only be you. Because I got the inspiration about the topic to write. I got it while I was sleeping. So it's a different gift. The first advice I will give is never you be discouraged whenever you're writing proposal. I applied for it for the first time and I got it. I have applied for something before, like award, African Women in Agricultural Research and Development. It was the third time that I got it. I didn't lose hope. The first time, all the people that we applied together, when it was the second time, they lost hope. They said, oh, they are not going to. Some people even said they are not looking for people like us. They are not looking for, when you have this mentality that it's not me they are looking for, the person can never get it. The first grant I won in my life, the first fellowship program is this MicroRed. That's the MicroRed is all about mycotoxin reduction in food and feed. And they were looking for 8 people in the whole world. First thing I told myself, like, if they can be looking for 8 people in the whole world, I'm one of the people in the whole world. So I should be one of the people they are looking for. And so somebody, while I was applying, someone came to me and told me that, oh, why are you wasting your time? You're a Nigerian and they are looking for just 8 people in the whole world. Do you think it's Nigerian they will pick? Did you know that? Because it was a 5-year project and do you know that year they picked 4 from Nigeria, and I happen to be one of them, and I happen to be the only female among them. And so for the rest 5 years, they didn't pick anybody because they already picked the people that they will work with for the next 5 years. And the following year, majority of Nigerians started applying. I didn't know that they would be Nigerian. You don't need to say you know. If you have written yourself off, so be it. And then when I was applying for awards too, I believe when I got the first message, I wasn't shortlisted. The second message, I was closer. I said, I'm closer, I will get there. And I had to go and look for people's success stories. But in this case, these are Fulbrights. I didn't have time to look for success stories, but I was developing it. The first thing I did was to look for mentor. Already won this fellowship before. And so that's Dr. She's now a professor, Professor Olajuibe in Futa. So immediately I discovered that she won the fellowship. Oh, I just went to her. Will you mentor me in this application? She said, no problem. And I started, in fact, she was the one that was like, when are you going to write? Start writing now, like that. She will be on me, I will write. I will send it to her. She happens to be a very busy person. Even in her tight schedule, she also checked my write-up. The thing that I will advise people is don't work in isolation. Share ideas. Nobody is going to steal your ideas. I believe that if you're a child of God, whatever you do, even if the person steals your idea, no problem. Where you're going to get to, if you keep moving, you will get there. And so I will send my ideas to her. Which idea do you, is it my idea that she's going to steal? She's somebody, she's ahead of me in everything. And like somebody that I look up to, will she now steal my idea? And so she was my mentor, and I got a letter of recommendation. I got to know, because this year we brought the US Embassy team to, I organized a program that's enhancement, a Fulbright enhancement program in my university, so that people will come and listen directly from people that shortlist from Nigeria. What are the things that they look for in people's applications? So some people really participated, and they told us that things they look for. Number one, when you submit your proposal, if the quality of recommendation is not solid, they will not pick this. Who are the people that give you recommendation letter? It's very, very important. So I got my recommendation letter from, I think, 2 or 3 people, I can't remember. You know, I got from my Fulbright mentor, and I got from I also got another one from my host, my previous host. In that letter, I didn't see the content of the letter, but he later told me what he put there. It was a stand-alone recommendation letter, you know. And then the proposal you're going to write, have it at the back of your mind that when you're writing proposal for this kind of opportunity, you're not to rush your proposal. For example, if you know that, oh, this thing is going to close in 1 week time, don't just apply. Have your time, take your time. You can always apply next year. Take your time, build your CV. They want to look at your leadership experience. They want to look at your involvement in community development. In fact, any US government project want to look at how you have been able to contribute in your community development program. Now, your community development, if you're a Muslim, if you're a Christian, all your activities you're doing in your churches, your mosque, they are part of your community development program, and they should be included in your CV. So if you are not doing any community projects and you don't participate in conferences, you don't network, I will advise you not to apply for Fulbright, because those are the things they are looking at. And in your application, do not plagiarize, because they told us that they got a lot of people, even professors, I'm sorry to say, they got their application and they discovered that they plagiarized. So they sanction people for plagiarism. So if you have an idea, work on your idea. Your idea, in fact, if you copy another person's idea, it can never flow. By the time they are reading your background information and what you intend to do, by the time, because it's like essays of what you have achieved, if you are a professor, what has you being a professor has achieved? How have you been able to impart into people's life? Those are all the things you're going to state in your essays. And then your leadership skills, has it ever improved on people's life? All those impact are the things they are looking for. And I advise people, look for opportunity to attend conferences. If you attend conference, then you build your network. These are all the things they are going to state in the essay. Those essays are very, very highly competitive. And so one thing about like in Nigeria, the US Embassy in Nigeria will shortlist some people. They have a lot of applications. Then they will call like 16 people for interview. And from the 16 people that they have interviewed, they will send the names of people they feel like from their hand into to America. So the American government and the Institute of International Education, in collaboration with US government, they will now finalize. They will pick from the list sent to them. So it's not just, some people believe that you have to find your way out. You can't, which way out? How do you partner with? How do you bribe the US Embassy people? How do you bribe the International Institute of IIE in the US? How do you bribe US government? So it's not, I won't say it's not an easy thing. If you have a good idea, it is easy for you. And if you've been doing some things in the past, or if you are maybe like a new set of people in academia and you want to write it, I will advise you not to write apply, because they want to look at your involvement, your international program, your international involvement, your capacity building that you have done. Those are the things they will use. And another thing is, okay, I'm trying to, another thing is make sure that you have a right standalone proposal and share your ideas. Send your proposal to somebody. Tell English people to proofread it. And it's not for academia alone, because when we got there, we saw some people in music areas, in so many, even one banker got this. There are so many programs under fellowship, under Fulbright. So, but the one I applied for was the African Scholars Fulbright. That's the most senior one. And so they normally pick few people. We have some. In fact, do you know that we have some in Fulbright fellowship program? We have some people that studied Yoruba, and they pick them, teachers and stuff like that. So they are not just looking at only academic institutions alone. They are looking at all round, and it depends on the call that is out. So it's advisable that people apply, and then don't be discouraged when you apply. If they don't pick you this year, apply again, apply again. And I have seen somebody who applied for the 4th time and they picked the person. And so read about success stories. It will help you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, for telling us how to go about it if you really want to apply. And you talked about mentorship. It's very, very important for us to have mentors, because if they've gone ahead of us, they can tell us, the mistakes they made, and they can tell us not to make those mistakes. And that is very, very important. And Prof is back. And now I think we can now begin to wrap up. Prof, okay. Can you just tell us your closing remark? Can you unmute yourself? Okay, what's your closing remark? And if you still want to add from what you were saying, you can still add.
Well, thank you. I want to appreciate you for this opportunity and for creating the platform for us to be able to say a few things that God has given us the grace to say. As a way of closing remarks, let me just say that it's good to be focused in life. One. Number two is that every day, every step that we take, we learn. And we should also be ready to bring people up. Our success in life is not by what we are. We should note that our success is being judged by who are the people that have been able to benefit.
Hello, Prof. We can't hear you again. Okay, we lost you there. Okay. Doc, can you tell us your closing remarks?
Okay, thank you very much. In my closing remarks, I would like to say that collaboration is the key thing. Like somebody told me, my hosts in 2014 told me that America did not just develop like this. Initially, they were just doing their things themselves, all professors were just on their own. But when they realized that this will not take them anywhere, they all came together and start collaboration. I mean, they started collaborating with one another. Now I can't be a food safety expert and I want to collaborate in the aspect of, I want to write publish paper or write articles in the aspect of histopathological analysis. And I will do that on my own and I will be a single author. No, it's wrong. We have to involve everybody in different aspects. My own contribution might be little. These other people's contribution is very, very important for us to collaborate together in Africa. Africa, to me, I see Africa as one. So if you can come together and collaborate, oh, you have this strength in this area. Professor Tosin has approached me in some area that I'm going to collaborate. I have started working on it. And I was so happy that, oh, this is the spirit. Now we are coming together in Africa. And then if we should all come together, then Africa will be great. We'll be great. On this issue of food safety, if Africa is going to feed the world by 2050, then we should all come together in Africa and think about how do we feed the world. Collaboration is the beginning of making a great continent. And again, share ideas. Sleep and success don't work together. Don't fold your hands. Professor Obadina says something, do not procrastinate. What you need to do now, write it down and start working on it. Because if you keep living our life on today, we will never live in the future. So we need to start living a life in the future for us to get into the future. But if you start living a life in yesterday and today alone, then we'll not get to the future. So all what I have to do is say collaboration, live your life in the future, and hold on to God for everything. It's God that will direct our path if you involve him in our activities. Thank you very much, Prof, for inviting me and for this great opportunity.
Thank you so much. Wow, you've said it all. I want to just appreciate you and Professor Obadina for taking time of your busy schedule to do this interview with me. I've really learned a lot from the two of you. And I'm also sure that our viewers have learned a lot from you. We want to hear from you, our viewers. Remember, food safety is everybody's responsibility. See you next time. God bless you. Bye.
Bye.